they're necessary, and we should go through a plethora of them throughout our journey. And it's really just dying to the concept of who you thought you were, what you thought you knew, and what you thought you would become, and being open to things kind of evolving. Because I think sometimes when we are in this earthly experience, we can identify and attach ourselves to so many things. But when we free ourselves from those things, it's like you kind of really open the door to be whatever you are and whoever you are in that moment. Kind of like you were saying with the vegan, I'm not there yet. Someone who would kind of disrupt your flow of getting to wherever you're meant to get to on that journey, it's just like it defeats the whole purpose of the journey in itself. And so for me, like, I think in the beginning, I fought it. I fought it because it requires you to relinquish control, and that was scary because having control made me feel secure, but it was like, in reality, it's not as secure as it feels. And so the more I became comfortable with not being in control of how everything was going to play out, but being open to it, that is when my ego slowly, I mean, ego is still there. Don't get it twisted. It's still talking.
Yeah. Catch me on my wrong
it's
day.
Still
I'm a fire sign, so, you know.
Running its mouth, but.
Like, it was a post I put, hey, please don't poke the bear, because, you know what I'm saying? It's like, please don't poke the bear.
Don't do it. You know, I'm aware of it. It's there. I have daily conversations with it, but it's in line, and it still can serve its purpose without affecting my ability to achieve my ultimate purpose. So.
Yeah, it's definitely necessary. Like, you know, conversations, you know, with like past relationships, like, yeah, like, dang, I made a lot of assumptions here. This is crazy. Like, but it wasn't clear communications. I didn't ask the questions I should have, like, and, you know, I was dealing with an Aquarius. It's like very secretive. Like, yo, just tell me what's on your mind. It's like, we don't have to play this chess game. What we doing here? This is exhausting. Like, killing me. It's like, but nah, like, sometimes, you know, and that's the thing, like, we got to truly, like, understand, like, who we dealing with, like, understand a man, and understand, like, you know, and then the woman that you're dealing with, and then the man that you're dealing with. Like me, I love my space, and I had a confrontation, like, yo, like, I just love my space. I like you. Like, I really like you. Love my space. Like, you cool. I like you. I'm a creative. I'm always doing something. Like, for example, like some Sagittarius, Mos Def, we never know what Mos Def is. It's just like, he's always traveling. He's a traveling man. For, you know, that song is crazy. but yeah, how important, like, understanding men and women, like what have you learned about men? Like, and then, like, because I feel like men, we kind of simple, you know, we can be simple, but some men can be more, you know, but I'll be honest, like, I noticed, like, you know, people love y'all love bad boys more than the movies. You know what I'm saying? More than the movies. Y'all love bad boys. But what you feel, how you feel like you came to understanding of man? Because I feel like we could be simple, but we could be difficult, because, you know, I could say you know, a couple words, and I get to the point, you know, like, man, we don't need to talk too much. We don't really talk too much, you know. But what's your feeling on that?
Woo, I think that alone was a journey in itself, because I don't think a lot of women realize, like, typically, especially early on in life, the type of men you're going to attract are going to be similar to your father. So your relationship with your father ultimately kind of sets the tone for your understanding of men at just that level. And then, of course, as you continue to experience different types of people, you learn and grow. But I think what I've come to the conclusion of up until this point is that when it comes to men, especially men who are maneuvering in their divinity, in the sense of, like, they harness both their feminine and their masculine energy. So they know themselves on an intimate level, but they also know how to lead and guide. They need a match who has done that same work. And so a lot of times we don't realize that conditioning, again, this word conditioning, social media, the media period, music has made us think that there's this certain type of man and there's a certain type of woman, and these are the only two prototypes that exist. But the reality is Yes. And then so we walk around thinking each person we encounter is going to fit into that prototype that's in our mind, or we're trying to recreate that situation versus actually getting to know the person for who they are. So I think a lot of times what I realize that men genuinely appreciate someone who's invested in just getting to know them for who they are, first and foremost. Because it's like, okay, you're invested into seeing what my value is. Same for women.
Yeah.
And that they don't want to be in situations where they have to like combat your masculine energy too.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too, because we're conditioned to be masculine quite naturally out here in this dating world.
I mean, nowadays, man, yeah, it's crazy.
And when a man has to go toe to toe with you, like a bro, when it comes to like strategy, when it comes to who wears the pants, or who is going to lead who, it doesn't become a place where he can be safe, where he can feel like he wants to protect it and provide for it. It honestly becomes like
you can't have two alphas. Like I've been hearing the phrase like alpha woman is like, yo, it's like, hey, get a beta man, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And don't complain about the beta man, because that's the only man that will deal with you.
And it's funny that you say that, because I don't think we realize the situations we're putting ourselves in. So if I'm going to take on, because granted, women have both masculine and feminine. Exactly. If I'm going to choose to lead with my masculine and be an alpha female, then I have to understand that in order to keep equilibrium, I'm going to attract the beta. So if that's not the type of man I see myself with, then I have to look in the mirror and make some changes so that the law of attractions can smoothly work the way they're supposed to work, versus me, producing one thing and expecting to get another.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's a lot of women I encountered. Like, oh shoot, like you and your masculine right now. Hey, I mean, hey, you can't bark louder than me. You could try.
Right, you
can try. But hey, this ain't gonna, you're not gonna win. It's cool. Like but it's like, yeah, it's just a battle, yeah, it's all about that balanced piece. Like, yeah, I can't, and yeah, it's like you shouldn't want to deal with someone that's not, fit, and that doesn't, the energy doesn't match. Like, oh, you masculine, I'm masculine. Like, yo, I'm looking for, because I was listening to Lipstick, Lip Service podcast. And yeah, Joey Badass, he was on there. He was talking about he was asking the question like, yo, what is a man? I mean, what is a man, and then what is a woman's, primary, or go to, necessarily what they provide for a relationship. And Joey said nurture. He felt like nurture is what women provide, and protect is what men provide, So I think it's a battle, like the Cardi B's and all that. Like the music is definitely like I seen a post yesterday, no finance, no romance. It's like, all right, cool. Like, but you can meet a good brother. It's like, nah, he gotta give me a Birkin. I need a Birkin. I need some I need the red bottle. Like, give me the red bottles.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, but he's a good brother. You actually might need him in your life. Like, oh, nah, I need that finance. But he could be a worst guy. You date these rappers, they don't know how to take care of these women. Offset be cheating on Cardi. We seen it. You know what I'm saying? But he should be poly. Let's be honest. Offset has a poly mind state. He's in a monogamous relationship. Like, yo, he's got a poly mind state, clearly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, but yeah, it's craziness going on. But yeah, I think we got to find that balance, because yeah. But why you feel like I think for protection, but I think that's why most women are in the masculine now. But what you feel about that?
Oh, them feeling like they need to do that and as a form of protection, absolutely. And I think that
Megan Stallion, she messing up the game. Like, it's crazy.
it comes with, it comes with people seeing things and lacking that. I think it's necessary for a woman to cultivate her masculine energy so that she does know how to provide and protect for herself. So if push came to shove, she can get in and she can help. If push came to shove, she can take care of herself. But it's when we now use that masculine energy to protect our emotions. to protect our vulnerability. And that's us still not accepting and allowing our feminine to live, because our feminine is vulnerable. Our feminine is needs to be nurtured. Our feminine is more of that inner self, that emotional side. And so I think when women are maneuvering very masculine, they think that they're like, I'm protecting myself and I'm providing for myself on a physical level, but they're still protecting and providing themselves from actually being in their feminine too. And that it kind of like a double-edged sword, because it's like they still want to be feminine. You'll hear them say that. You'll hear people, talk about how they want to take off that shield and they want to let down, and they make it the man's responsibility to break down those barriers. But I said this to a friend the other day: nobody can remove your layers but you. Mm-hmm. Like you have to be the one to actually accept and take off that layer. Nobody can do that but you. So at the end of the day, the ball is still going to be in your court no matter what a man does.
Yeah, sadly, you mentioned the layers. Like sometimes I took the layers off of the wrong person, and sometimes you get hurt, and then it's like the next person's like, dang, he don't even talk about his mother or nothing. I don't know nothing about him. Like, yeah, I'm James St. James St. Patrick the Ghost. I'm Ghost now. That's a power reference for the people. Like, I'm Ghost now. I'm Amari Hardrick out here. It's like you don't know who he is. But nah,
no, like, that's the reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, it's craziness. It's definitely craziness. Yeah, I feel like that's why most men don't open up, or it's hard to open up, because you don't know who to trust. And like Summer Walker, is still over again, and one of her songs was called Fourth Baby Mama. It's like, yo, like he had 3 before you. Like, this dude was not right. His brother was not right. Like, yo, like that's why have some more male friends. Because I feel like men, we know men and women, they understand women, and we could definitely benefit for those, those type of relationships if, chemistry's not there, like, friendships. I think it's hard.
And I have to challenge the men. I have to really challenge the men on this one, because I've talked to a lot of men who kind of make that statement in regards to not wanting to reopen up, and these girls are for the streets. And every time I meet someone, she winds up. And I'm just like, brothers, who you choose, you're still a part of that selection process. And I think that we discredit the fact that we make these decisions when we decide to engage in these people. And a lot of times they're red flags. We ignore them and they just be there, and we fall into the same situations over and over again because we still are making the same.
Yeah. Exactly. We still haven't learned the lesson. Say, all right, cool. This feels familiar. It's like, yeah, it feels familiar, man. It ain't good familiar, man. It's just like,
yeah, right.
That's your ex again. She's got a new name now, man, and she looked different.
Right.
Like, that's your
literally.
Ex again. Yeah.
Same energy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to learn that lesson, definitely. But yeah, it's in the music, like. It's crazy, like SZA, that I Hate You records. Like, dang, it's like, man, it's like we pushing this agenda. It's like, man, like, yo, it's like, damn, where's the love at?
That's the scary thing about art, is because I know she probably used that as an opportunity to release her pain, but because there was no healing attached to it, it's just now it's influencing the masses.
Oh yeah, and it's like, it was a podcast I was a guest on, and I said, hey man. Healed people gotta date people that's healed or healing. You can't really do much with a damaged individual when you're healed and trying to save. Like, hey, nah, you gonna get hurt, man. Something gonna happen because they ain't healed yet. They don't think it's real. They think they don't think you Superman. You got the S on your chest. Like, nah, you look like Clark Kent. Mm-hmm. He ain't real. He ain't real. It's craziness out here. But what is toxic really? What you feel like this toxic movement? People quick to say toxic when it's just a man being a man, a man's man. Like, some women want a man's man until he act like a man's man, and then it's like, hey, this is what a man's man look like. What you talking about? What you feel on that?
Toxic is definitely misused, overused. I see toxic and toxicity as maneuvering from a place of ignorance. Like when you just don't know what you're doing and why, you're toxic because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know why, therefore it can't change and you won't stop. But as far as like, I think people love to pull the toxic card when they get themselves into situations they didn't sign up for or they didn't realize. It's nice to have this type of person, but have you consider all that comes with it? Did you ask the right questions in the beginning? So we love to make someone seem toxic later in a relationship when they were the same person in the beginning. It's just, hey, you didn't ask the right questions or you didn't go into it fully understanding.
Yeah, you mentioned red flag, so it was a funny situation. So I was on my way to California. I was, had my, took a ride there, and I was like, yeah, we was close, and then all of a sudden, like you mentioned the red flag, we seen, a tire, the tire flash signal on it. I was like, all right, cool. All right, he have confidence in his car. That's cool. All right, it's all right. We gonna make it. He knows it. I know it. But yeah, I feel like, man, we annoy details. We definitely overlook things. And I think even with male friendships, like, yo, it's like they said, I don't even see you outside. Hey man, I don't like people. Maybe that's why. Like we annoyed that sign. Like we annoyed the tire signal. And then all of a sudden we was 5 minutes away from the airport. It was like a damn movie scene. And then the tire got flat. I was pretty pissed. But my old self I would have, hey man, you seen it the whole time. I would have turned up. But nah, it's like we annoy details and red flags. It's we gotta, I feel like, because I feel like when you're ready to love somebody, you don't care about the reds. Like, all right, it's like, yeah, I'm flawed too. It's cool. Like, all right. Yeah, it's like you just accept people for who they are, sometimes too much. And it's like you don't realize, like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't even never accepted this. You know what I'm saying? You got too many skeletons over there. You got a graveyard. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But yeah, but it's sometimes it be an area of communication, and sometimes we take on too much, and we think we can, we can just because the love gonna override, the issues, but nah, sometimes it don't work like that. It never works like that. But what
That's
about
interesting.
yeah, like what are some situations you found yourself in, like where it was like errors that you overlooked, like and I feel like Sag man / Cap, I'm a cusp. December 21st.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Sag man.
My birthday's December 22nd.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's my mom's born day. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I feel like we get a bad rep, and I feel like what do you feel like? What's like the worst sign that you had an interaction with or relationship with, or you didn't understand the zodiac sign that you dealing with? Because I should never talk to.
I would say, for me, and this is just so far on my journey, Pisces and Aries, I'm not necessarily compatible with on an intimate level. Or I have, at least the people I've come across in that stage of my life, is because Capricorns are pretty like disciplined for the most part, and we're really structured. So it has to be configured in the mind, and emotion kind of comes second when it comes to getting things done. It's very easy to be in your masculine energy having a Capricorn sun because you're really goal oriented and very focused. So for me, I find that I used to really maneuver in that space, and it's interesting now that I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about how it all aligned. But with Aries, I feel like there's two of the same fiery energy moving forward. So I think business partners, friendships, me and Aries are great. But when it comes to relationships, because I'm on the cusp and I have that Sag moon where it's real fiery, it can become an emotional roller coaster, I think, and when it comes to Aries, because Aries are really free spirited, just like Sagittarius are, and so that level of freedom that both need to have in a relationship can create a lack of intimacy, I think, sometimes, because both parties are really out discovering and experiencing life. And so I think with Aries, I just learned that, friendships and business is where I thrive with those signs.
Yeah.
And then Pisces, I just feel like for me, Pisces men, no shade whatsoever. It's just there's this level of like mysticism, but
Oh, yeah.
if it's not harnessed healthfully, it can become manipulation. Easy manipulation.
Sadly, we've seen it with Common too much. Common is a Pisces, man. Oh, I'm saying, salute to Common, though, man. Ain't no smoke, man. I love your music, brother. I got it out. But yeah, man, it's like, dang, him and Tiffany Haddish didn't work out. Common, that's another one. Like, it's more than another one. Like DJ Khaled out here with him. I was like, dang. But yeah, like Aquarius and Pisces woman is what I dealt with, and it didn't work. Like I think friendship is definitely necessary. Geminis are cool, but we gotta find that balance. 'Cause Gemini, two sides. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. But Scorpios, like yeah, I dealt with Scorpios. My father's a Scorpio. I was like, yeah,
I've never done.
yeah, Scorpios are they good people. But yeah, you just gotta listen to them. Sometimes they give more body language than communication. Sometimes.
You gotta pay attention.
Oh yeah, Virgos are good people, but yeah, it ain't gonna work. We gonna kill each other out here. It's like
yeah, business probably heck yeah, but I don't know.
Exactly. So like I feel like that's some of the errors in like relationships and like truly understanding each other. Like what are some other problems? And then also communication. I feel like that ties in. Like how do we communicate better, of what we want and need? I feel like in relationships, like we have unrealistic, expectations. Sometimes we be dreaming too much. Like, oh yeah, it's like unrealistic. Like one of my favorite Wale videos was like, yeah, salute to Wale Virgo. Hey man, salute to you too, man. It's cool.